Afternoon, how are we doing? It's Sam Spencer here. I hope you're all exceptionally well watching this on this afternoon, evening, weekday evening. Guys, if you're watching live, comment below that you're watching live. If it's a replay, then let me know if it's a replay. And what I want to go through today is why you should stop playing and thinking so small. If this resonates with you, if this helps you at all, if this adds value, all I ask is you share this with somebody that you know so it can help them too. Okay, so tag them below if you think that this will help them. So we're going to be talking about how you doing, mate? How you doing, Michael? Thinking and playing small. We need to change that. Like, I feel like, most people in their lives, 95% of the population, they're allowed to live so small. Everyone around you would like you to live small. And just do your job. Just be good at that. Don't do this, it's too risky. Take it easy. When's enough enough? All these messages are telling you just to live a small life, not to offend anybody, not to expose anybody around you in work or your friend circle. Just live an easy life. Just live an average, mediocre life. Everything around you is telling you this and compelling you to be saying, no, don't do that. I believe that there is greatness within us all. Doesn't matter what your definition of greatness is and success is, you were genuinely put here for a purpose, in my opinion. And I think that, everything that's happened to you as an individual so far in life, both the good and the bad, has prepared you for where you are right now. When I speak to people, when I speak to mentees, I ask them, do you genuinely believe you were born just to be ordinary and just to be average? You're getting messages in your head every day from 95% of the population, from the media, that you are average, you are not good enough. And listen, it's not your fault. That's not your fault. But I think a lot of people externalize the fact that maybe that they've given up in life. They externalize why they're not running after and chasing their dreams. They externalize it to what's around them. How you doing, Titus? Good to see you here, my friend. But I believe you're in control. You're in control. It is no one else's fault. And you've got the potential to do great things. And again, whatever great means to you, whatever success means to you, it's your definition. But I believe that everybody's destined to do great things. There's this thought process in the population and in the media that this greatness, whatever that means, is only for a small number of people. It's only for the upper class. It's not for us. It's for a small number of people. Those with money, those in the 1%. Those are the people that are maybe going to change the world. We're just designed to sit here and watch them, to bow down to them, to serve them. But ultimately, you can do whatever you want. You can become that 1% if you make that decision to become that 1% and stick to it. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to become an entrepreneur. That's just the path that I've chosen, right? And some of the people watching this have chosen. But if you're a bin man, be the best bin man in the world, okay? If you're a dentist, be the best dentist in the world. You work in an office, be the best office manager or the office worker in the world. If you're a teacher, that's amazing. Be the best. I'm telling you for a fact, if I was a bin man, if I worked in McDonald's, I would be an absolutely world-class bin man. And I'm not even joking, because you can be whatever you want. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I don't think you'll ever regret a decision to do something bigger. If you have two choices and one's difficult and one's easy, always go for that difficult choice. I don't think you'll ever regret doing that, to go bigger. I think we only maybe regret the things that we don't do. So I advise you to stop playing so small. If you've not read a book before, there's a great book called 10X by Grant Cardone. And he talks about 10Xing your goals. And everyone's got a different interpretation of what this means to them. But my interpretation of that, and he talks about almost 10xing your goals and making them 10 times bigger. And I think the reason for that is because, you know, a goal is a goal, so we've not been there before. Okay, we're working towards it. So naturally, we don't really know the level of work that's required to achieve that goal. Okay, so how do we know we're doing enough? We're taking enough action to achieve the goal? Well, we don't. Well, so what I'm saying is 10x is, if, for example, your goal was to do, I don't know, 5 grand a month, yeah? If you aim for 10 grand a month, naturally, you're going to go, okay, I need to do more here. I need to take more action, make more phone calls, have more meetings, shake more hands, okay? Now, I'm not saying you're going to do 10 grand a month, but you're going to get a lot closer to 5 because you're doing more stuff. So play bigger, have bigger goals, take bigger action. Whatever you did this year is not good enough for next year. You've got to do that extra meeting, make that extra phone call, and you've got to find a way of enjoying it as you're doing as well. Once you find a way of enjoying doing that extra work, that's when you've absolutely cracked it, okay? Now, for me, you've got to stop tolerating these people around you. The people around you tell you you're not good enough. You're working too hard. Have a simple life. You've got to make a decision to stop tolerating that. And as I said, there's a reason that you're here, but there's a reason why you choose to tolerate people like that in your life. I think, you know, yeah, you've got to give it your best, but you've got to make a decision as what you want to be. And if you want to be around these people that are negative, they're energy drainers, they're energy vampires, as I call them, you know, pretty good, pretty average, it's just not good enough for me anymore. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for me, my family, my wife, my daughter. You know, pretty good, pretty average is not going to allow me to create a legacy. It's not going to allow me to live on through that legacy. All it's going to do is allow me to die and be forgotten. You know, people forget quick. A couple of months, you're forgotten. I want to do something that makes me live on forever, that helps people forever. But to do that, you need to increase your self-confidence. I speak to people all the time. I speak to mentees all the time. They're riddled with self-doubt. They're riddled with negative thoughts about themselves. Now, the reason I feel like I'm qualified to speak to you about struggle, self-doubt, lack of confidence is because I've been there as well and I still go through it now. You know, I get self-doubt, but, you know, we weren't born thinking these thoughts, were we? We weren't born thinking these negative self-doubting thoughts. We learned them. They're a learned behaviour. So we can also impact on them. We can also unlearn them. We can also learn new habits, new traits, rewire our brain to think a different way. And again, it's not an overnight thing, right? This is continual, an ongoing process. It's like going to the mental gym, right? It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get them abs overnight. You have to keep working on it. All right, but self-confidence is about how you feel about yourself, your own reputation. Do you keep promises to yourself? I think that's really, really important. That's a really key point. Do you keep promises to yourself? Answer that to yourself. You know, maybe put it in the comments if you're open to do that. Do you keep your promises to yourself? You know, if I look at somebody who maybe lacks self-confidence, they're constantly making promises to themselves that they don't keep. They started the diet and did it for a while, but they didn't keep at it. They've made a commitment to their goals, maybe in their business, maybe to make a certain amount of money, and then they gave up. You know, they maybe set a goal to get up at a certain time in the morning and they don't do it. Okay, so they have a process. And if you kept letting your friend down the way that you let yourself down, do you think your friend would have confidence in you? Do you think you'd still be friends with that person? Do you think they'd still be one of friends with you? Maybe, maybe not. But I think it's so easy to let ourselves down. And ultimately, we should be our biggest cheerleader, our best friend. If there's one person you do not want to let down and break a promise to, it should be yourself. But so often we let ourselves down and break our own promises. If we don't even have confidence in ourselves that we're going to keep a promise, how do you think that is portrayed subconsciously to other people if we can't even keep a promise to ourselves? Now, you don't need an external factor to increase your confidence. For me, it's all internal. Start keeping your promises to yourself. Start holding yourself accountable and start creating momentum in your life and in your business. You know, if you're watching this now, maybe you're watching live, maybe you're watching on a replay, what is one promise that you can make to yourself now? What is one promise that you can make to yourself right now? Put it in the comments and stick to it. It doesn't have to be large. You know, start off small and start building it up. I always see people getting up earlier and earlier in the mornings to get more time to work on their lives or go to the gym and better themselves, right? And they go from getting up at 7 a.m. to getting up at 4 a.m. That's a 3-hour difference, right? It's just not sustainable. It's all about, I call it a process of continued and never-ending improvement. And that's small over time. So if you're getting up at 7 and you ultimately want to start getting up at 4 or 5, whatever's best for you, do it in 15, 20-minute increments. Do something small. What is a promise that you can make to yourself today and hold yourself accountable externally to the world that you want to move forward with? Okay? And this ultimately boils down as well to, and it goes back to the team and to the support that you have around you. I say it all the time that you need to stack the odds in your favour. You need to do everything possible to stack the odds in your favour in business or in life. You want to be around people who empower you with their words, not disempower you with their words. They empower you, okay? You know, you didn't get this far by yourself. I didn't get to where I am now doing it alone. I didn't get this far doing it alone. You know, it's all about the support structure, the team that you create around yourself, that collaboration with that team that you create around yourself. Almost the board table, the board members that you create around yourself. No one who's successful is truly self-made, in my opinion. No one does it by themselves. They might have started it, but they all have a support system, a structure. They have like-minded people around them, okay? And then they continue on this one route until they're successful. But going back to what I said before about, you know, the words that we use to ourselves about empowering ourselves rather than disempowering ourselves. We've got to be so careful that the words, with the words that we use, all right? Because ultimately, words become thoughts, thoughts become feelings, and feelings will flow into your actions, or feelings become behaviors and then actions, okay? So if I say to you now, purple elephant, you'll think about a purple elephant, all right? So remember, the brain struggles to distinguish between subconscious and conscious a lot of the time. So you've got to be careful the words that you use to yourself. Then words become reality. Okay, so really analyze this and start to become aware of the words that you use to yourself. Now, it's thought that we have close to 100,000 thoughts per day. That's pretty crazy, right? And it's even more crazy that the majority of people, those thoughts are identical to the previous day. And they're identical to the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. And usually they're negative. And then people wonder why life is continuing to repeat itself and they're getting the same old results time and time and time and time again, because they continue to do the same things. They continue to allow the same information to go in their head from the same sources. So if anything's going to change, you've got to change. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to get you out of bed in the morning to work on your business. No one's coming to make you eat a certain thing to get in the shape that you want to get in. No one's going to force you to go for a walk to get your steps in. No one's coming to get you to the gym. It is on you. That's what is meant by no one is coming to save you. So the thoughts that you have and the things that we tell ourselves are so, so, so powerful. The things that we think and the things that we say to ourselves can literally alter the direction of our lives. So you need to become aware of what you're thinking and alter these thoughts to serve you, not to beat yourself up all the time. Okay, so if you can master that, if you can master that internal self-talk, then the world will open up for you. I'll finish this with a book recommendation. I want you to read Mo Gawdat's book on Solve for Happy. He also has a fantastic podcast. He talks about happiness. He talks about the relationship between the brain and the body and happiness and self-talk. And I think this will really help you moving forward. But I hope this was useful. So just remember, guys, be careful who you spend your time with. Be careful what you allow into this inner sanctum in here. It's a precious, sacred place. And you should decide what goes into it. But stop playing so small. Stop playing bigger. Have bigger goals. Take more action. Do more than you did last year. Do more than you did this year. And find a way to enjoy it along the way. Guys, any questions, comment below. If you found this useful, and if you found value in this, all I ask is you share this with a friend, and hopefully they can get value too. Have an incredible day, an incredible evening, and I'll speak to you soon.